Hey, what's your problem? You have business problems? We have business solutions.
Occasionally.
Well, maybe.
Not guaranteed.
Life is a fight.
It is.
In business, every day is a fight.
So true.
So, hey, what's your problem?
Man, thank you, John David Wells. If you guys haven't checked him out yet, you really need to. He's just a wonderful, sweet guy, ready to help you out I don't think he needs to know you, and he'll just be happy to help you out. Check him out, John David Wells on Facebook, The Wells Report. This is the What's Your Problem podcast, where we talk to Middle Tennessee business owners and professionals about the one thing, because it's always something. The problems that they're having. It's always going to be something that keeps you up at night, especially when you're running your own business or you're professional in some capacity. This is a video and audio podcast. Check us out at whatsyourproblempodcast.com. Pick your poison. You can listen. All my links are there if you're an iTunes person or Apple Podcast person. Google, Stitcher. If you want to watch these things and see my ugly mug, be my guest. Knock yourself out. I am your host, Jim McCarthy, with JimMcCarthyVoiceovers.com. And today, a guest coming on. Just found out that she's locally here in the Spring Hill area. Was not aware. She's under 30, so I would naturally think that she's from like East Nashville. You know, you automatically think that. So please welcome to the show, Erica Richmond.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So it's really cool to have you on. I got introduced to you through my efforts with the Talk of Music City Real Estate with that podcast. If you haven't checked them out, it's talkmusiccity.com. Fine hosts on that show with Monty Moore and Carrie Ann Sear.
Good people.
So one day, Erica comes in and she's a guest on the podcast. And man, she starts talking about all of her social media expertise and is accomplishing a lot of the stuff that, so many of us are challenged by. So the stats, pulling her up here on Instagram, you've got 23,000, a little over 23,000 Instagram followers, all organic, I'm imagining, right?
Right.
And just you doing your thing.
One person, one man team over here.
That's right. So, you're actually out there. You got a lot of really good engagement. You got the highlights. You have coming soon, showings for realtors, locals, all these different things, the way you market yourself. And you're voted a top Nashville realtor on social media marketing mentor for realtors. So you're coaching people, people in the real estate business, right?
Right.
And but you're also selling homes.
Right.
So you're doing that for yourself. Good for you.
Thank you.
Now, the most tenuous, harrowing part of the show, which you told me before, that you're not good at coming up with answers right away. But hey, we don't care. We're going to do it anyway. It's the Random 5, brought to you by Culleoka Company. Check those guys out. Link is in the description. Culleoka Company is all about having a probiotic-based cleaner that, we've used it in our home. We swear by it. If you have cat urine smell, I always bring up the cat urine because I don't think if you haven't had a car with cat urine smell in it, it's impossible to get out. Apparently, the Culleoka Company product, spray, the cleaner, does that.
It's good to know. Based on
probiotics. Yeah. Check those guys out. Links in the description. Okay, question number 1, Erica. Don't get scared. Don't get nervous. Very easy. This is a softball.
Okay.
What's the fanciest restaurant you have eaten at?
Oh, is it Perry's? Sperry's?
Oh, Sperry's or Perry's?
Franklin.
It's in Franklin, but there's a new one that's right across from Bricktops. And that McEwen.
Yeah, the new, where Condados is.
Oh, my gosh.
So good.
It is really good.
Okay, I'll say that's my fanciest.
I'm going there tomorrow for lunch.
And there you go.
Yeah, I was invited. For once. Question number 2. If you had to choose your spouse based on just one question, what question would you ask?
Oh, gosh. My husband's not listening. Do you clean? Do you do chores?
Nice. Well, he's in the car business, so I would imagine that's a no.
Right. He's a busy man.
He is. Question number 3. If you were a scam artist, what scams would you run?
Oh, I'm going to need some help with this one.
I'm going to go with the Don Lepre old school 80s, 90s. I placed one tiny little classified ad and out of a
Clickbait.
1-bedroom apartment. Sure. Yeah.
Clickbait.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facebook ad clickbait.
That sounds good. That sounds like a winner, right?
Going with it.
All right. Question number 4. Who out of everyone still alive would you most want to share a meal with?
Gosh. That's, I don't know.
You have no idea?
Donald Trump.
No, there you go. Any particular reason?
It's a good businessman.
Yeah. Pick his brain.
Pick his brain.
There you go. If you could I would have to say for me, gosh, I would have to really marinate on that one. I would say, Ed Milet or Gary Vaynerchuk.
Ed Milet.
Yeah.
That's my number 2 pick.
Yeah. Just sit down with those guys. Bradley was on the show a couple of weeks back, and I dare say that he's a good friend. So, I can kind of text him anytime, and he generally gets back to me. So. If you could level up in life just like in video games, where would you put your next skill point?
Oh, gosh. I'm not a gamer. What is a skill point?
I have no idea. I'm skipping that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Let's knock it all on the spot.
Sometimes the random question generator sucks. Okay, so...
Make up an easy one for me.
I know. How does your definition of a, quote, real man differ from the mainstream stereotype of a, quote, real man?
Real man. I think the ones that know how to do things, like fix things around the house. I feel like today's world, people just pay instead of actually knowing how.
I'm going to say it's in the hands.
It's in the hands,
right? If you shake the man's hand and it feels like,
They're hard
5
workers.
grit sandpaper.
I agree.
They're not soft hands, right?
Yes.
I've got so many scars on my hands from my days in the electrical business.
Yes.
And even still from today, I just got this one today. I cut my pinky open, getting a troffer down from the ceiling, because that's what I do on. And in my fun times off, I go out and I change lights out.
Being a real man.
For fun. That's right. So there you go. The Random 5, again, brought to you by Culleoka Company. Check those guys out. Links in the description. Erica, thank you. You did wonderfully. Look at that.
Thank you.
You had nothing to worry about.
Survived.
I'm telling you. So tell me a little bit. You're under 30.
Right.
Which is awesome. You got a lot of time ahead of you. I call birthdays and the ages, I've actually converted to calling them levels, like in a game.
Yes.
So I say I'm on level 47 now instead of 47 years old.
Yeah,
sounds
good.
better.
It does sound better.
I'm not old. I'm older.
You're qualified.
That's right. So how did everything start for you?
So for real estate, how I got down here. So we moved from my husband's job. We're from a smaller town in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. So we moved down here in 2016, and real estate wasn't even on the radar. I got a degree in health administration. So I was continuing learning my degree. I just recently graduated college, and we started to look for our first home. Well, my husband being in sales, I'd already been around the sales life, which is intriguing to me. I know that I'm a hard worker, so I like that, no ceiling income. You get paid for your hard work. And so I kind of started thinking about real estate, convinced my husband somehow. He's like, I think I just turned 23. So I'm 23, didn't know anybody, didn't know the area, and definitely did not know how to sell a house. And convinced him to let me get started. And it just was like trial and error. I'm here to make this work. And I'm just kind of self-taught my way
Figured
through
it out.
As we go.
When did everything start coming into play with Instagram and building the social media brand?
So I started my business Instagram page maybe 6 months to a year after I got started in real estate. I remember it being January 1st. It was a New Year's resolution. I knew I wanted to just start it. And so it was definitely, this is, 2018 Instagram, which is so much different than social media today. But I was just unhappy with the way I was being taught to generate business. And I was like, okay, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe real estate is not for me. It's just not matching my personality type to pick up the phone and call a bunch of people that, don't want to be called, or I'm not going to walk up to somebody's door and knock on their door and answer it that way.
Does that even work, though?
For some, yes.
Yeah.
Some people out there are really good at just setting the appointment, I guess, face to face. But I know that I personally don't like my door being knocked on. So I just think about how I would want to be treated.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of scam phone calls all day long, because I guess in real estate, they give your phone number out to a bunch of insurance reps and lead generation companies. So I don't want to answer a bunch of random phone calls. But that's where Instagram kind of came into play. So I did Facebook ads the very first year, and it did well, but it was more of people weren't clicking on it to work with me. They wanted what I was offering, you know? And so I was like, I want a little bit more control over the types of clients that I'm attracting. And so
what were you offering at the time?
So I did a ad for a list of homes for sale, and I used Williamson County, and like the price point, the hot price point was like $400,000 to $500,000 back in like 2018.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were like, yeah, I want the list of homes for sale. So when I kept
expensive back then.
right, I miss those days. And so kind of keeping it broad, when I was like $400,000 to $500,000 Williamson County, it gave me a way to reach out to them and say, okay, but which city in Williamson County?
Right.
And that gave me like a conversation starter. And so that kind of just, I kind of just set people up, sent them houses, and it only takes one house to get somebody excited, you know, and be like, hey, yeah, I want to go see this. And so it worked. It just was like not pretty much the clients that I would probably attract if they could see me for me, you know, and see the types of houses I sell. So, and it was also expensive. You're running a bunch of Facebook ads. People are clicking on it just to click on it. And so Instagram to me was intriguing because I was like, this is a free platform, and I kind of get to control, you know, the marketing that I'm putting out there, and people can kind of look at my page and see who I am, the houses that I sell, before they ever reach out, you know? So it just kind of took off. It was trial and error. I had no idea what I was doing at first. I just started posting. I was like, I just got to show what I'm doing and stay like, you know, show that I'm busy. And I think like the very first client, it's been a couple years now, but I'm pretty sure it was this lady in California. And I was either sharing one of the rent to own programs or like the ribbon programs. And I was like, okay, if someone in California has seen this, then this might be working, you know. I just never thought that anybody outside of like the local area was really following me.
So I'm not ignoring you. I'm actually trying to put into practice the things that you do. And I feel like I should have done this when I had Mr. Brad Lee on a couple of weeks back. I didn't even take a picture when he was here. You know,
Well, yeah, you got to have the
totally failed. Totally
marketing.
failed. You know,
Yes.
so I mean, I got to do the story where it's like, hey, here we are. We're recording, right?
We're live.
And there you are. We're live. Hi.
Hi.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, what else should I say in this instance?
Just say that our episode will be coming soon. Everybody follow you at, what's your handle? JM
JMVOS. Jim McCarthy VOS. That's my handle.
There we go.
So there's the thing. I mean, I just completely did it wrong, but you know,
But that's the thing. You're doing it, you know?
I'm trying to, right?
Right.
Now I got to tag you.
Yeah, we got to tag me.
Here we go. Erica, where are you? There you are. Erica Richmond Realtor.
Yes.
So if you're not following her yet, look for Erica Richmond Realtor. That's your handle. And it went into 2 snips, so I got to make 2 tags. Yeah. This is where I get bogged down.
Too many steps.
I'm telling you. But so did you notice kind of like a switch when that happened? You got off of Facebook ads, you went to Instagram, started your professional page. Were you doing anything with social media prior to that, or?
No.
No, really?
No, I just had like my personal page from like high school and college. But we're both losing our voices.
I know.
But no.
Fiberglass insulation in my throat. Wonderful. Yeah.
No,
Don't get me started.
Right. I didn't have any previous background in social media. So when I look back at the first post, which Instagram was just pictures. And so I was like, I really didn't know what to post. I just wanted to show. So the transition was like the closings that happened from the Facebook ads, I got to share on Instagram, and that kind of like started the social proof where people could find me. But to me, it was like, I was still new to the area. So, you know, when you're new here, you want to go and do all the fun things. And so we would go and spend my husband's day off, like doing fun things in Nashville. And I would document those because I feel like people are more looking up things to do, you know, like local stuff more than they're actually looking for a house or a realtor on Instagram. So you kind of have to have that balance. But it just kind of just kept posting. And then when I kind of like got the hang of it, I was like, okay, people are actually seeing this. It was more motivation to keep showing up. Because when you're just getting started, you're like, okay, it feels like a lot of work for nothing. But, you know, when you stay consistent and you start to get business from it, it's motivating.
What is consistency? I mean, in your mind, a lot of, not too long ago, maybe about a month ago, Vaynerchuk did a talk in Vegas, and I've had an onslaught of new interest of people that want to do podcasts because he told them, look, if you're not posting 5 to 15 times a day, you are at risk. You are vulnerable. And I'm going, you know, for people who are in commoditized industries, insurance, mortgage, real estate, that kind of thing, And I'm going, oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Gary. It's good for my business, but how in the world without a team of, 10 people doing it for you, snipping things out? Brad's got a guy following him around with a camera. Gary's got D-Rock, following him around. And I've had conversations in the past with certain people who wanted to be influencers. One guy comes to mind, and this is several years ago. He says, I want to do the Gary Vee thing. I said, okay, so you're having these amazing conversations with people, for your brand. You've got the money. He says, but I'm only looking for one person. I said, okay. And let me guess, you want to pay them what, 55 grand a year, maybe? He goes, well, I was thinking more like 45. I go, you're looking for a unicorn. He appreciated my honesty. I said, you're looking for a unicorn. I said, you're going to burn them out within a week or two. I said, what do you want? Something pumped out every day? He goes, yeah. I said, dude, you're talking about documentary filmmaking at its root, okay? Are you out of your mind? You ever watch I asked him, do you ever watch a documentary? He goes, yeah. You ever stick around for the credits? He goes, well, yeah. I said, you ever count how many people are involved in a flippin' documentary production? I said, yeah, it's a larger production, but what you're asking is really no different. And you want one person to do that? You're out of your flippin' mind.
Right, I agree.
Get out of here. And he hasn't done anything since, but it's like, you got to bring some freaking horsepower to the table to do something like that. But in your case, the source, as Brad Lee calls it, the source for a lot of people, for me, is podcasting, because you can pull so much out of it, right? What's the source for you? Is it mostly just documenting your life, right?
Right. So I just did a video about this, but that's the hardest part, is that especially when realtors are so busy, they're like, I can't, it feels like two full-time jobs trying to create content and be out there doing all the real estate tasks. But the easiest way to do it is just to document, share day in the lives, just show behind the scenes. People want to see, what it's actually like to work with you, or like what your day is like. And that way you're not actually trying to create something. It's just truly what you're already going to do that day. But I know a lot of people are saying, all right, post 5 to 15 times a day, or 2, reels every single day. And I agree that will help you grow more quickly. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's about having all these followers. It's just truly about, kind of reaching the right audience, because, it just takes one person to close one house. Right. Where if you're trying to, go viral, you're more than likely going to reach a lot of people that will never buy a house from you, or really don't, that one video could be totally off topic. And then you get a bunch of followers that don't actually pertain to what you're actually sharing. But the consistency part is something I still struggle with, because we all go through, ebbs and flows of being really busy, or, feeling creative sometimes. And then I feel like when people are like, I have to post every single day, they start to put out content that really doesn't have any value. No. And so I think that just focusing on sharing more quality content over just the quantity is going to help your page grow, because you're going to get more engagement on the content that has more value. If you're just putting out filler content, it's not going to really do well for you.
I've just been putting out clips of this podcast, clips of other podcasts that I've been a part of and that I'm still a part of. One in particular is the Rich Redmond Show. He's the drummer for Jason Aldean. He's one of my very good friends. He and I do a podcast together. We haven't put out a new episode in a while, but it's like, even in that case, you can still, we've got 145 episodes that there's just gold in them dar hills, right?
Right.
And it just takes somebody going through it, So on this recent lighting job that I had to do, I was kind of leading a team. I listened to some of those old episodes, and I listened to one with Ray Luzier and who else? David Cook, a bunch of different people that we had really great conversations with. But that's all where it went. Nothing else really happened with those episodes. But I'm going, now that I'm more clip-minded, I'm hearing them left and right. I'm like, there's a clip, there's a clip, there's a clip. And it comes back to my training in talk radio when we had to do a lot of promos for the talk shows.
Do you guys videotape those episodes you're talking about, the other ones?
I tell all my clients, I said, if you don't have a camera on you, you're making a mistake.
Right, so you can go back and repurpose that content.
Totally.
Because people, even if you posted it a month ago or 2 months ago, people are like scrolling through so quickly they don't even realize how much content they're consuming. So they'll forget. So just, repurpose your more important, better, performing content. And just reshare that.
And especially if you can get on other podcasts and those other people share those and they tag you in it and, you reshare.
Right.
That adds to the actual, I guess, the 5 to 10, 15 pieces of content.
Right.
I typically I do stories for those types of things, like what we just did.
Right.
That's not really a post or a reel. A post or a reel's got more kind of like showcasey, and it's got to have an entertainment component to it. But the stories, I guess, for kind of like day-to-day life, living life application, if as how I understand it.
Right, and you can kind of collaborate because you tagging anybody, a business, me getting to reshare that reaches, both audiences. So it's kind of like a win-win for both of us. So I think that being on stories is just as important.
Oh, yeah. I think you're going to have, I'm not sure if I'll help you, but I mean, I don't have as many followers as you yet.
Yet. You're on your way.
And I've even forgotten to post and tag the actual What's Your Problem Instagram page. So it's already up, completely. But I'm juggling here, okay?
You're doing all the things.
Cut me some slack.
Right.
What did you notice? Was there a noticeable uptick in your interest? I mean, how long did it take for you to get where you are now? What's the average intake of new opportunities that you're seeing?
Like, when did it kind of start?
Well, I mean, where are you now? And when did it start ramping up to where you are now?
I would say, I'm trying to think. So it started in 2018, really just like, that was my start of real estate and my start of Instagram kind of at the same exact time. But I would say it took time, like 2 years into really staying consistent. I was getting, leads from Instagram at that time. But I would say, honestly, weirdly enough, probably like 2020, which was like, but I think that was when everybody started doing it online because more people spent time online, There was nothing else to do. So people were on social media. And a lot of people were still moving at that time. So my ideal client on Instagram is relocation clients, new construction. And so new construction was easy because you could go to the houses, you can highlight the ones that you like. And relocation clients are looking up people in Nashville. They're looking up Nashville realtors or things to do while they're in the area. And so I would say like 2020 is when things really started kind of taking off. And then last year is when Reels came out. And so still 2020 was pretty much all pictures. And still to this day, pictures are so much easier than having to curate a whole video and edit and add text and all that. But the reach potential on a reel and all the videos is just, it's crazy. I've seen so many accounts blow up, so many opportunities for so many others just from, how many people that you can reach. And so I'd say in the last 2 years, it just kind of
noticeable uptick.
Yeah. Mine has never been like, oh, you went viral and everything just like took off. Mine has just been slow and steady over the last 4 years or so.
What's the goal for you? Where do you want to really ultimately be with followers and that kind of thing?
I don't really have like a follower goal in mind. Because I said, my goal is not to be like go viral and, go like that. I would just like to continue educating realtors and, potentially just position more into mentoring agents on how to grow on social media. So I don't know that the ultimate goal is a follower base because the metrics at the end of the day don't really do anything for me. I'm like, yeah, to me, it's crazy that 23,000 people even came across my account, And so that to me is just, I'm just excited to be able to help more agents.
And it's mostly realtors who follow you?
I would say the majority of them are at this point. Those are my clients.
You're doing coaching to them and classes, I would imagine, right?
Right. So do classes and offer more like one-on-one like strategies. But my ultimate right now, I'm working on a course that I'm hoping to launch next month, which is everything. It's hard. Like when I go and teach these classes, I'm teaching such a broad group of agents that are at different levels. And so it's always hard to go in there blind and be like, okay, how much do you know about Instagram, and kind of curating a class that way. So in the course, I can break down videos. It's like videos of me specifically training on all these different topics, giving like tutorials. It's hard to be up there in front of a class and be like, all right, pull out your phone and click on this, where, on a video online, I can do that. So I'm hoping that the course is a better opportunity to train in that sense. But yeah, kind of offer a couple different things, trying to still find my footing on the best way to mentor agents and what's most helpful and how I can work with more people at once.
I would think it's similar to like Vaynerchuk's speaking events. He gets up and he tells a story, his origin story, where he came from, what he's doing now, what he's into, and then he opens it up for questions. And that's what really feeds the forward momentum of the actual talk. I'm thinking the similar format for you, Instagram, social media 101. Hey, here are some of the foundations. You may or may not know these things, but either way, it's an opportunity for people to get in the same room with you and really, okay, but I've got a question. Right. And I can ask you now directly.
See, that's the struggle though, is I am such an introvert. I've used social media to my advantage being that way because I reach thousands of people without having to be in front of thousands of people. You put me on a stage and I don't think I can get the same concept across because I get up there and my nerves, like I just cannot shake the nerves, even teaching classes. I don't know what it is. It's like I forget everything that I know being up in front of a room. So that's why I use social media to my advantage, because I'm like in the comfort of my house or wherever I'm filming, I can teach you and you can get so much more value when I have my belongings. So everybody always says, is getting up on a stage like your end goal?
No. Is this your problem? Did we stumble upon a problem organically?
That's literally the problem.
There we go. I like it. And I think I may have a solution for you. Hopefully. But I mean, have you done like micro classes in front of realtors and such, like in smaller groups?
I have. And so there's a difference. Like if it's small enough that I can walk around and I can help in that sense, I'm walking and I can shake the nerves. But when it's been a little bit larger of a group and I can't leave the front.
Right.
I cannot. Right. I don't know what it is. And
maybe that's your thing. That's all. That's okay. It makes it more intimate.
Right. I like the workshop style. So I literally force myself to do the classes. The classes just kind of happen naturally where these brokers would ask me to come in and teach. And so I'm like, my gut was like, say no. Like you it's not going to end well. But to me, I was like, I want to go and teach these classes because I want people to see me and see, okay, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. Like I get up there and I'm like, this is me. I'm nervous. Like you can literally see the nerves coming out. So I'm like, this is why I use social media. So if you're an introvert or you are, more of the shy type, you can still use Instagram. And if you're extroverted, great. Instagram's going to work even better because you're going to be out there and doing all the videos, and really making it work. So it doesn't matter which side of it you are. This is why you need to be on social media. So that's why I made myself teach classes, because I want people to see me and actually get to get a good feel for me.
Well, I think those will be a premium offering at some point, especially if you only limit your engagement to online,
right?
Whether it's a Zoom conference or something like that. I mean, and all of a sudden they can get Erica in person.
Right.
There's a premium that you can attach to that, because not only that, there's a woman out there, my wife follows her. Her name is Corinne Crabtree, and she's built an army. And her thing is weight loss, a very authentic, transparent, genuine way that she went about her journey. And she helps a lot of women across the country who just, they can't. She's a very in-your-face type of personality. She lives right here in town, but I mean, multitudes of women follow her and pay her every,
right.
$50 a month.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So I mean, there's something there, and
there's something there.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure that out still. That's the hardest part, is just to figure it out.
Start
so I'm just
small.
trying different means of.
Can you put out content that's helpful to realtors 3 times a week?
Yes.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, maybe that's the subscription model,
right?
Where it's exclusive content. Maybe they're on with, I don't know, maybe what's the Patreon or something like that. Maybe through that. I mean, I'm just kind of spitballing here.
Yeah, Instagram actually just came out with a feature for subscriptions. I haven't tried it yet. But,
really? Mm-hmm. Are you doing a TikTok?
I have a TikTok. You asked me this last time, and I'm like, that was the motivation. I was like, I need to be on TikTok, and I have an account, but it doesn't. Not very consistent at all with it.
Not very consistent. Okay, I've found it's being that it's so new, it's easier to get the audience.
See, right? And it's just so different than Instagram in a sense. So like TikTok is pretty much Instagram stories. Like people just want the real, the raw, where my Instagram is either just like me talking, trying to cut it out, or
oh my gosh. Oh, well, I don't really touch it. 10.9 thousand followers, for crying out loud.
No, I really don't post that. I mean, I really don't post that
But
much.
Still, you got a good following.
Yeah, I need to take advantage and use TikTok more, because it's not going anywhere, and it's, Instagram's main competitor, but it is harder, and it's hard to be consistent on both platforms. TikTok is really they want you to post 5-6 times a day, where Instagram, you're going to burn out really quickly unless you have like a long form video that you can like get into multiple clips. And plus, if you have a more client based following and you're posting 5 to 6 times on Instagram, I personally feel like they're going to like get a little tired of seeing you. Like, what are you going to say 5 to 6 times a day?
But again, going back to, Mr. Brad Lee, who was just on, he, in another pod, because I did his intro, the way he and I connected is I did the intro for his podcast, and we've just kind of nurtured the relationship since then. But one of his episodes, he talked about that, I guess Grant Cardone was just a monster at posting. I even kind of poked fun at Grant at one point because, I did a video of me going through Grant's stories, and there was like 40 of them. You see the little dashes at top, sometimes they're long and then they get condensed depending on how many you put out in the last 24 hours.
Right.
I mean, he had 35, 40 in a day. And I just took my phone and hit my finger on the camera. I'm like, what it's like going through Grant Cardone's stories. Just, oh my gosh, dude, they're relentless. But Brad actually reached out to him and said, you're killing me, dude. I'm going to unfollow you. He's like, but go right ahead, man. It worked out for him.
Yeah. It's a good growth mechanism, but you have to be so dedicated.
Dedicated and willing. What you're offering's got to be gold. If not gold, but good.
Close to gold.
Not just fluff and crap.
Right.
Which is kind of like my problem. I'm like, well, the clips, I produce them up, I put the titling on them.
Right.
I just made the recent clip I put out the other day with Brad. I made it formatted for a phone. The 9:16 ratio. And, I use a software that does it automatically for me. So I just got to put that out now,
I was actually going to talk to you about that because Instagram is going more to that full screen experience like TikTok is. And so when you do post the horizontal videos, it doesn't give that full screen effect, which Instagram is kind of wanting. And it doesn't grab as much attention because it's not taking up the whole screen. So to be able to do the vertical video, which I'm guessing is 9:16. Is that the size?
Yeah, it's 16:9 otherwise. 16. Yeah, the aspect ratio.
But it is hard whenever, how you're recording it, having to convert it and all that. But that's what you got to give Instagram what Instagram wants, That's the thing.
Well, I mean, they're trying to stay alive in the midst, and continually, hold their position in the category that they own because TikTok is certainly nipping at their heels.
Yeah, and YouTube is trying to go for TikTok. So they're all going to be, yes.
Yeah. Are you doing shorts as well?
No.
Really?
I need to. That's where, if I do more of the mentoring videos, then I feel like I could take those clips and add them to YouTube Shorts, which I feel like would probably be more of the longer form. I'm not doing anything super long because my attention span's very short. So I know a lot of other people's, especially if people are scrolling so quickly, to get people to stay on a video for 1.5 to 3 minutes, you got to have something really good to say. Yeah. You got to be telling a really good story, or really giving it in-depth tutorial.
Maybe the stories and reels on Instagram are like the trailers for what's on YouTube.
Right.
You're like, hey, I go into this more over on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. The 15-minute version of me really going in depth on this topic is there.
Right.
But here real quick 3 takeaways that you can if you want to have a deep dive on these takeaways, then go to my YouTube channel. So.
Right.
Think of it like movies.
I need a team. I need somebody to help me stagger it. So, if somebody is following you on Instagram and TikTok and, there's your Facebook Shorts, you're putting out the same one and the same people that always engage, see them on all 3 platforms. It's like, okay, I've seen this today, but if you stagger them, people will forget.
So is that bad?
No, I do the same thing. It's like, okay, I only have so much content to share, but the idea would be, having somebody help stagger it so that people don't remember that they just saw this,
See, Brad called me out on that episode. He's like, I never see you post on social. And I'm going, I just posted something 7 hours ago for crying out loud. And, not in the last hour, but,
Right.
And he starts going, he says, well, you're not posting enough. I'm like, I'm trying, man. He's like, well, you don't try. You do or you don't. And I'm going,
yes.
I get it.
I know.
I don't have a team. It's me. On top of the other juggling that I'm doing with everything else that I got going on in my life.
Right. I relate 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll have a team, that can do this for me.
Somebody been here giving all the angles for you,
Yeah. There should be a camera guy, capturing all the nuggets of wisdom I'm dropping or not. So what I typically do on mine, like if I put out a clip from the podcast or anybody's podcast, I've got the What's Your Problem page on Instagram, which you should follow. What's Your Problem Pod on Instagram, which is always at what'syourproblempodcast.com. All those links there, just go there. Pick your poison. If you're an Instagram person, all that stuff. Plugs are done. So I'll put up a clip on What's Your Problem, and I want to build that. It's only got 180 followers. It's really paltry. And then put it up and I'll tag myself and stuff like that and cross promote it on my own. And, and then eventually I'll actually post that clip on my personal page like a day or two later. Okay. So I guess that's staggering. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
And so I don't know. Have you ever used the feature where you post on What's Your Problem podcast and your JMOV? Is that what it has?
Jim McCarthy VOS.
VOS. Yeah. Have you ever cross-posted at the same time?
No.
So you can post the same clip to both pages at the same time so that you're getting engagement from both. So,
really?
Yeah. You got to go whenever. So you say you tag yourself in the video.
Mm-hmm.
So on the tag button, it'll say add tag or it'll say invite collaborator. And you need to invite yourself as a collaborator. And so the one video clip is going to have both account names at the top. And so all the people that follow your main page is going to get access and be able to click on your What's Your Problem. No. That's way more seen than tagging it because you have to click on that little person at the bottom for it to see the tag.
Yeah.
And so not a lot of people see that.
I've been doing this fun thing as of late. I'll hold it up to the camera. I have the little checkerboard thing going on. I don't know if that's still a thing anymore. So I always go back and I go, okay, what color theme was the last one? So the last one's black. So that means my next clip's got to be yellow. I like the feed aesthetic because I feel like it looks organized. And when somebody clicks on your page, it's like more enticing to want to follow because I like it all kind of, Yeah.
aesthetic.
Mr. Self-proclaimed marketing guru that I thought I was. I could never land on a color on these things.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some I've got gray, I've got white, yellow, I've got blue, and some of them I'm like, what the hell?
Keeping people on their toes. It's fun.
I guess. But I mean, like you said, when you got somebody coming to your page, you want to kind of knock them dead, As
long as your last 9 or whatever they can see up top looks good, that'll hook them in,
Yeah.
Hooked in.
Now on TikTok, you have the actual, what do they got? On mine, I think it's like the new way that they're wanting to do this is so I put the labels.
Yeah, the titles. Yeah,
but
that way.
If you go on it, it's full screen, right?
Right.
Holding it up to the camera. So I guess on TikTok, that's the best way to make that work.
Yeah, and that's something I'm struggling with. I'm trying to do that on Instagram because I used to really go for the aesthetic, clean-looking Instagram page, especially when it was photos. And so videos are hard because if you don't put a cover on it, people don't know what it is when they click on your page. So they'd have to click and scroll through every single video. So now I'm trying to add the title to the cover image on a reel, which just really throws off the whole look that I was going for. But that way, when people come across my page, they can kind of get a little preview of what the video would be to click on it more. But
I just recently dialed in the look of my thumbnails.
Yeah.
I'm not a graphic design guy. So I found a software online. It's, a couple of, maybe $100 a year. I'm able to do all my clients' thumbnails, and they look fabulous now. What did I say? Fabulous? Oh my
Fabulous.
Goodness. Fabulous. So, I mean, and that's so I'm making strides.
Right.
This guy who's on level 47 is making strides.
Watch
as
out,
best
world.
as he can. I'll take it. Take whatever people want to follow. This is just what I do. You like it.
Yeah.
This is what you take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
This is who I am. When you have people that are still inquiring, and you got a lot of people in the real estate industry that are inquiring about that. What about the California angle? People moving in from California. I mean, there's such a opportunity there.
Right.
Right.
And that's why, so when I started mentoring agents, I was like, think about where you're seeing, most people move from and get connected with agents in those areas and become referral partners because it's a huge opportunity, especially like the last 2 years. So many people were moving around. And so it's like, especially here, California, get to know California realtors and build up your referral partners. But yeah, because it's like, okay, more than likely they can't just quickly get here. So people are going to go to the internet to, you know, search out the area, search out things to do. Why do they want to move here? And so that's kind of like the angle that I took. I was like, they're not just going to start looking for a realtor online. I want them to come across my page in a different sense. So that's why I was sharing things to do. You know, if they're going to come and do a stay, like they're going to look up Nashville hotels. So I would go and share different Nashville hotels. And so that's kind of how you reach people that are moving to areas. So that's what I was like, I know Californians are looking up different things to do. And I want to share the houses that they want to move to, because they're like, all right, let me probably build a house. You know, I have time before I sell in California and move. And so that's kind of the new construction angle with the Californians that I kind of worked with.
Even with the, you know, you being in Colombia, and Colombia is becoming quite bougie.
It is.
Right? There's a niche there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I would imagine that you kind of capitalize on that. You know who Matt Bogosian is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His videos.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's got his own group on Facebook, moving to Tennessee from California or something like that.
I've seen those.
It's got like 9,000 people on it, you know, and they're all moving here. They all want to move here. And it's like, God, what a treasure trove of opportunity you've got, dude. You got to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, because they're going to go on Facebook and they're probably going to type in Spring Hill, because there's like all these local Facebook groups. And so if they happen just to come across the California one, he's sold. Like, that was a really good marketing opportunity.
I want to say the last I checked, and I tell a lot of people about the California pages, whether they're in insurance and mortgages, you know, any of those commoditized industries. Guys, there's like, last I checked, there were 19 California to Tennessee themed pages.
Wow.
19 of them. There could be more now. Now, some of them, you know, it may have 1,000, may have a couple of hundred. Some of them are all to 10,000 members, but, you know, typically thousands of people that are just interested in moving here. I'm like, why are you not I mean, Matt, I think, puts a lot of his stuff on YouTube. I'm not exactly sure how well it does, but I mean, everybody, I think, gets what he's trying to do. But you know, he's trying to put out helpful videos on what to do in Nashville. He puts, you know, drives down different roads. He'll wear a GoPro camera. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I think I came across his on Facebook when he was like highlighting the different just local places in Spring Hill. I don't know how big it's gotten now, but
we're full. Yeah, Spring Hill, we're closed. We got
Spring Hill is so full.
Yeah, we are way full.
That's what the iHeart Spring Hill page will tell you.
Yes, yes, and Spring Hill iHeart it.
Yes.
Now the other aspect of this is, you know, I'm just going to put it out there. Maybe you need to make a comeback on MySpace.
Right.
You know?
That's what I saw this thing the other day. It said MySpace didn't have an algorithm against us all or something. It was funny. He's like, we did him dirty.
You could design your own page with glitter.
Right. Put your favorite song on there. But yeah.
Top 5, was it the top 10 friends that you could assign? Remember that?
Oh, I remember. That is crazy. Today, oh my gosh, can you imagine the problems that would cause?
I remember back in the day asking people, be like, hey, can you put me in your top 10 friends? So
How am I not your number one?
I know. How come I'm on the second row?
Right.
I was like, oh my God. Did I actually ask them that?
You know, everything that goes out of style comes back in. So you never know.
You never know. I mean, MySpace might be the mom jeans of social media. You know?
Oh,
MySpace. You've heard it here first.
Yeah, so you started this, yeah.
MySpace will be the mom jeans of social media.
Yep.
Go to it. There's a clip right there. I'm gonna mark that down. Let's see. This is what I do. Now my cameras just went out. Okay, great. That's wonderful. But we'll keep on going because we're having fun.
Keep on keeping on.
But sometimes these things happen. You just kind of roll right through it. What about podcasting for you? Anything like that you wanted to look into?
I don't know. The hardest thing with me is naming things. So It's like, I think it'd be fun to have a podcast, but how would you even start to name it? I wouldn't even know. Thought about that and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I can make that work. But I think it's a good way to educate and connect with people and
get in Richmond.
Get in Richmond.
Yeah.
There you go.
Enriching your life. Or I don't know, something like that.
See, I need you to help me come up with the name and then teach me how to do all this.
Well, what is the word you own in the mind of your prospect? What, it's an old marketing thing. What word, what phrase, what's your big idea? You're helping realtors get better at social media. You're becoming like a social media diva coach, right?
Right.
And then you can eventually monetize that, I'm sure. That's the goal,
Yeah.
Get some sponsors.
Yeah.
That's what the influencer game is all about.
Gotta make that money.
I recommend, not even just recommending stuff.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I tell voiceover people that all the time. Actually, I got a great story about that. One of my voiceover students yesterday, McIntyre. I was wondering if I should say his name, but I'll say it. McIntyre. He and I had a great conversation. We had a session yesterday, and one of the biggest problems with coaching is getting upset when people don't do what you're coaching them to do.
100%.
Yeah. A lot of people get very frustrated. Like, dude, why aren't you doing what I'm telling you to do? So I've been preaching all along in the voiceover community that if you want to get into voiceover and you want to get practice, you can do it the way I did, which I worked in radio, which a lot of people can't just get into radio these days. But you can actually call a radio station and find out who the production director is and offer your services as a voice talent to, hey, I'm going to come by every Thursday, 2:00, set aside, 5 or 6 or 7 scripts. I'll read them for you. You coach me, you send me the final product, and hey, if it airs, it airs. Awesome, right? And that's kind of the way I always went about it in radio, but I voiced, literally tens of thousands of things over the last 25 years. And it got me to where I am today. So I tell people all the time, it's repetition. You got to be reading, writing, reviewing, recording, reading, recording, reviewing. And he actually did that. And he was telling me about it. I said, you did it? He goes, yeah. And how did it work out? He goes, they had me read 6 pieces of copy. And, he says, I'm the kind of person that will never be happy with the kind of performance that I've done. And lo and behold, he says, most of them aired. I said, dude, that's great. I'm so proud of you. Because now you have legitimacy and credibility. You've got aired stuff.
Right.
Most people getting into this business won't even be able to claim that for 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years. They're just practicing. They're just trying to get in front of people. But kudos, McIntyre.
And you taught him this?
I did. I put it out there on the social medias. Every now and then people call BS on me. Okay, occasionally.
Occasionally.
Where do people find and follow you?
All of my social medias are, my username is Erica Richmond Realtor. Try to keep it all
Do you have a link tree?
I used to. Right now, I just use my Squarespace website, ericarichmond.com.
Okay.
And just build out a links page on there so that all my traffic is kind of in the same space.
That's your landing page.
It's my landing page.
It's amazing how many people don't even have that.
I agree.
Yeah. That's why I always say, what'syourproblempodcast.com. Just go there. You'll pick your poison and follow along. The link tree is pretty important because people, that's become a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta want to be able to offer multiple things to people. That's the best part.
Absolutely. But man, social media juggernaut that you are. And the website again is what?
ericarichmond.com.
ericarichmond.com. I'm surprised you got that.
I know.
When did you just score that?
I've not even had it that long. Maybe 2 years, because I used to have Erica Richmond Realtor, but I think I actually still do. That might just be my brokerage website. I just bought a domain for it. But
right.
I wanted to kind of have a more lifestyle website that was more me than just the brokerage.
What are your plans in the future? Do you have any 5, 10 year, 20 year milestone plans?
Oh, if I think too hard in the future, I get anxiety.
If I think too hard in general, steam starts coming out of my ears.
Literally.
Yeah.
I would say 5 year. My 5-year plan. Just hopefully expanding my business, doing more of the mentoring aspect, and just kind of seeing what other opportunities arise from the social media world.
Well, I mean, I'll pull a Brad Lee on you. It's not trying to expand your business. It's do or do not.
It's expanding it.
Yes.
Putting it out there.
What does expansion mean? You have a goal on that.
Just to
100,000 followers.
Yeah, 100,000 followers. There we go. Put a number on.
But I mean, but you know what? In 2 years from now, you go back to this podcast and be like, Jim, give me that. I'm at 100,000 followers. We named it. We claimed it.
You got to put it out there.
Right.
100,000
You totally
followers.
have to put it out there. It manifests.
I agree. You got to
Absolutely.
speak good about yourself.
You do.
Yeah, I agree.
But I love your stuff. You do great work on social media. Keep it up. Even collaborating with other influencers here in town. I can't think of her name, which is bad of me, but she does a lot with Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Mallory Irvin?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Where's my sound effect? I don't have one. We'll do a tension bed. Why not? Doesn't really... Doesn't make it. Why am I doing attention bed? Which is the social media influencer for Mercedes-Benz of Music City? You better get this right. Okay. We have fun here, right?
We're having a good time.
Okay, so ericarichmond.com. Please go check out Erica and follow along. Let's help her get to 100,000 followers, as well as myself. If you're hundreds of thousands of people are listening, go there now. It just takes. And by the way, give me $1. Let's get 100,000 people to give me $1.
I agree.
You ever think about just doing that? Be like, hey guys,
Venmo me
just
$1.
here's my Venmo. Send me $1.
Right. I'll go out there. I'll do something funny for y'all. Just give
I
me
need
$1.
a car. Right.
Right.
What would you do if you gave me $1? Or what would I do? That would be my request. Okay, what would you guys have me do if all of you gave me $1?
Right.
Yeah.
They'd probably tell me to like shave my head or something. You know.
Would you?
The internet. For how much?
If all of your followers, let's say hypothetically, they gave you $1. It's, $25,000 right there.
I mean, I'm on social media, but gotta have the hair. You know.
You got to have the hair. But there's your story. You can always grow it back.
I can
right?
get a wig.
You can get a
Just
wig. A wig, as they say in Texas.
A wig.
What?
Yeah. We'll see. You never know. Desperate times calls for desperate measures.
Well, very good. Thanks for joining us today. Always, both times we've talked, they've been very pleasurable. So
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Awesome. Glad you had a good time. ericarichmond.com. And of course, check us out at whatsyourproblempodcast.com. Not sure if I mentioned that at all during this episode. whatsyourproblempodcast.com. Rate us, follow along. Please just, give us the love or the hate if you like. I get it. So, again, whatsyourproblempodcast.com. Thank you, Erica, for coming on with us.
Thank you.